Hello and welcome to this week's Facebook Live. So today we're going to talk about developing self-awareness. Why? Ultimately for personal evolution. So if you are anything like me and like the community here at Life Well Made, we are intentionally seeking to evolve from our own generation, from our own lineage. Okay, if you are connected with Life Well Made, you know we have a podcast called Generation Social Change. And we don't try to change the world by changing everything outside of us. We ultimately change our experience in life and how we relate to life and the world by changing ourselves. So the first step in healing and evolving is self-awareness, okay? That's the difference here versus anywhere else. Most people want to change their circumstances, change people, change politics, change society, change ideologies. Not here. We're not chasing flying monkeys or things outside of us. We are tuning inward and changing our own inner world through developing self-awareness. How do we do that? By developing mindfulness, through mindfulness of what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? And the real question here is, what is going on within me? You are the lens in which you look through your life. So if you look at your career, if you look at your finances, if you look at your relationships, if you look at your experience day to day, it's a lens in which you're looking through life. And how you're going to experience your career, your finances, your relationships, is that through that lens. So our lens is developed through our upbringing, through our own lineage, how our family, how our culture sees those given things. So if we're not aware, we are just going to perpetuate that same lens in which we look through life. If we look through that lens and say, I don't want to experience my career or my finances or my relationship or relationships in this way, then it's not to control the relationships or the career or the finances, thinking that that's going to ultimately change it. It's looking at what is going on within me. What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? And what are my actions? And being able to not judge it. So through a lens of non-judgment, we're going to say, that's interesting. And create acceptance. So we want to acknowledge our current experience of whatever it is that we're looking at. If we're looking at the area of our life of career, let's say, or if we're looking at our finances, or we're looking at our relationships, then ultimately looking at our own, what are my thoughts about these things? What are my feelings about this? And what are my actions? What am I doing? This is all about letting the outside world be a mirror for us to tune back inward. Like, I notice these things. We want to notice what we're noticing, but we want to look within. How is my thinking? How are my feelings currently? How are my actions mirroring this in my reality? And if I don't want to keep perpetuating this and creating this or experiencing this, then I need to be aware of my current thoughts and feelings and actions, but also ask myself, are those current thoughts, are these current feelings, are these current actions taking me in the direction in which I want to go in? So the true capability of self-awareness and how do we ultimately evolve is to hold space through mindfulness of our current experience. We can't reject it, deny it, ignore it to create change. I hope you're following. We are honoring it and we are accepting these things while opening up to new thoughts, to new feelings, to new actions that are taking us in the direction in which we want to go in. Those thoughts don't align. Those thoughts are affecting my mental health. So can I say, yes, I'm acknowledging that these thoughts are not serving me right now, or that these feelings are heavy, or I feel lack, or I feel resistance, or I feel depression, or I feel pain. Can we acknowledge that about ourselves and open up to how we want to think, how we want to feel, what actions we want to take, and expanding our capacity to hold ourselves in any given experience? If you're looking at your career, if you're looking at your finances, if you're looking at your relationships, okay, I'm having these thoughts, I'm feeling these feelings, and I'm taking these actions as a result. Okay, let's acknowledge this within ourselves. Let's accept this within ourselves. But how can we open up ultimately to what we want to create? Better thoughts, better feelings, better actions that are co-creating and weaving in the reality in which we want to create. Again, you are the lens in which you look through your life. So you may not have installed your beliefs. You may not have made yourself feel a certain way, but you do. So through mindfulness, we can shift, we can evolve, we can grow. And that is our intention here in the community of Life Well Made. It is personal evolution. It is social change. Again, not by controlling the outside world, but by controlling the world within us, our own internal state, our own internal compass. And we can't just force ourselves into a new state of new thoughts, new feelings, new actions. We have to allow ourselves to process, however that is, in terms of it's a bridge. I don't know what your process is going to be. All I know is, what are you thinking and feeling now? And what do you want to be thinking and feeling now? And true healing is acknowledging this, like as our own, and being able to release it. Can I release this thought? Can I release this feeling? Can I release this action and let it go? And this starts the progression of healing naturally by acknowledging where we're at currently, by accepting what we're noticing, and then by starting to forgive in that terms of letting go. Okay? So it's not how can I change the outside world? It's what's going on within me. That's creating this lens in which I'm seeing this experience. That's creating this challenges in my finances instead of feeling capable, successful, aligned, abundant. Okay, what thoughts and feelings do I need to let go of? What actions do I need to let go of? And meeting yourself in your own progression, in your own evolution, in your own healing. This is important to notice what you're noticing. We don't have to control anything, even in our internal world, to change it. We simply have to meet ourselves in this experience at any given time. I want to invite you to go deeper with this, where we can really look at our own self-awareness through understanding the levels of energy. What state are we in right now? And the 7 levels of energy really mirror the 7 chakras. So if you are familiar with these terms, you will understand on the lowest level of energy, if we're operating in depression, if we're operating in anger, if we're operating in self-responsibility, if we're operating in care and concern for ourselves and others, we will be able to evolve our energy and ultimately our lens in which we look through life. So while I'm not going to share with you in this live session the 7 levels of energy, I invite you to join us for class where I will show you what this actually looks like. Can you meet yourself without understanding the levels of energy? Can you meet yourself in your own current state of energy about any given area of your life right now? What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? And what are my actions? And this is how we start to evolve, okay? It has nothing to do with another person. For many years, I tried to control my family to get them to see. Don't you see? Don't you understand? Don't you? Once I realized my power was not even in getting them to see and feel and know and on the same page, it was starting to align my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own actions with the reality that I wanted and am creating. and being okay with that. Like, this allowed me to ultimately individuate and start to rise and start to evolve in my own experience at my own pace and faster, quicker. That doesn't mean I don't have and operate in the lower levels of energy. Life is cyclical, but we want to come back to this. If I'm in this state, what are my current thoughts? What are my current feelings? And what are my current actions? Can I hold myself in that while opening up to what I want to be thinking, what I want to be feeling, and what I want to be doing? Because that's my capacity for my energy. That's the capacity for change. Most people avoid the lower levels of energy, those lower thoughts, those negative emotions, and not really being real with our own actions and how that's co-creating the reality that we're experiencing. We're not blaming ourselves. We're starting to understand ourselves. We're starting to develop self-awareness around ourselves so that we can evolve and ultimately create a better experience for ourselves and our lineage and the generations to come. So I want to invite you to Self-Healing 101. It's our live class. It is happening next Thursday, so a week from today on November 20th. This is totally free, Self-Healing 101, and I will dive into the 7 levels of energy and really help you understand the process of self-healing and why we heal, ultimately for personal evolution, advancement in our own lives. And this does not require another person to get on the same page. It does not require external change and external reality. When you change, your life will change. When you shift how you think, when you shift how you feel, when you shift how you show up, life has no choice but to align with your state of energy. Okay? So, but again, we're not wronging ourselves for where we're at. We're not forcing ourselves to change. We are meeting ourselves in our own current state of experience, our own current state of self-awareness, so that we can naturally heal and evolve. So if you're interested in joining me for Self-Healing 101, I've shared the link in my profile. This is in this live and wherever you are watching this from. And I hope to see you on November 20th. Okay? Sanam.